And sometimes we think we are the whole ocean and we think that we got everything under control. And then God comes and reminds us and says like, wait a minute. I am the maker of it all. You are just a little drop in the ocean.
Welcome to the Got Money and Purpose podcast, previously known as the Got Money and Sex, and I'm here with my queen.
I'm so excited to be here. It feels like an eternity, like a lifetime ago that we were together in this office.
Yes, it's been a crazy journey being quarantined. Yes. I don't even know how many days. I think like we're 45 days into this journey, and the topic today we're going to talk about is how to come back from the quarantine stronger than ever, because I think that a lot of businesses are suffering right now. A lot of couples are suffering. There's a lot of pain right now in the world. And we wanted to come back in this podcast just to give you some hope, just to give you some insights, just to give you some ways to actually come back stronger than ever. Because I think this is a moment that we have to understand that this is gonna make you or break you in your business, in your marriage, in life. I mean, this is something that we've never expected to happen. This is a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. But also, it could be an opportunity for us to become better humans, better entrepreneurs, better leaders. So if you're watching us through Facebook, just comment and let us know where you're watching us from. If you're watching us from Instagram, I'd love to interact with you and answer some questions. If you're listening to this in a podcast, thank you for your review. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. Our intention is to bring you as much value as we can from our own experiences. We're no experts, but we are living life every single day, taking it one day at a time. So,
and I think it's definitely gotten us the whole experience of this COVID-19 and, like everything that we've gone through in this last couple of weeks, or, like we even lost track of time. And I know that, we are just getting back into the groove of things. And I know that you've been actually just coming back into the office, Raul, and really just continue to work and to continue to pour your heart out for the men that are in need of you. And I'm just getting back into the groove of things because I was sick and I was not feeling myself. And I know that there's a lot of people right now that are probably not feeling themselves, whether you were sick or maybe like, just the energy of it, of like you not even knowing like what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think, for us, it's been a great big lesson. And I think, the more that we talk about it with our kids, the more that I talk about it with myself, that I have this deep conversations with God, it's like it allows me to see what I couldn't see before. It's a whole new different perspective of really like, how can we show up in our relationship? How can we show up with God? How can we show up in our business? How can we show up for ourselves when everything is taken away, when we thought we had control of everything, and all of a sudden we have control of nothing? And I want to share this idea that I was talking with my coaching clients over this whole week, is like this idea of God having control of it all and us being part of this amazing ocean. And we could be the ocean, but at the same time, we could be just the drop in the ocean. And sometimes we think we are the whole ocean and we think that we got everything under control. And then God comes and reminds us and says like, wait a minute. I am the maker of it all. You are just a little drop in the ocean. And at the same time, like that drop makes an effect on the whole ocean. And like for me and the girls, as we were talking this week, it's been so amazing to actually like let go of the things that we thought that we had control of. And at the same time, have a different perspective on how we see this pandemic and how we let it affect us, our whole energy.
One of the things that shows up for me right now is, as I'm listening to you, is the fact that we have to surrender to the situation.
Yes.
I think a lot of us, what we want to do is we want to fight the reality, especially when things are not going our way, especially when things are not the way that we expect them to be. We want to fight the reality. And I think that,
it was such a shock too.
I think that that's a defense mechanism that we have to argue with reality.
Yeah.
So tell the audience a little bit about, what was happening with you. You got sick and you got the virus. We both got sick with the virus.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, your health started to even decline after the virus. What was going through your mind the moment that things didn't get better, but actually things got worse?
When things didn't get better, I actually got mad because, like I thought that I was taking care of my body. Like I've been taking care of my body. I've been working with an amazing doctor and I thought I was really taking care of myself. And there I go, like fighting the reality, fighting of like this, hey, like how am I getting sick? Like I already got sick once. Why am I going to get sick again? And letting go of what I thought had to happen, letting go of like when I thought that I had to heal. And it really, like you said at the beginning, it's like it had me surrender of what I thought the sickness had to look like, how long it had to last, how my body had to perform. And I think it's been one of the most amazing experiences that I've gone through, that we've gone through, that our whole family has gone through, because it really humbled me. Like if I ever thought I was a woman of patience, like, oh my gosh, I was not. If I ever thought that I had empathy for someone else, I really didn't until I was in that sickness, until I was in that, like, I can't no more. And it just gave me such a different perspective on life. It gave me a different perspective of like, people that are sick at home. Like I knew that God was going to help me through it and I was going to get over it and I was going to heal. But when I was there, it just gave me a whole different perspective of so many different things that maybe I didn't take the time to really acknowledge in the past.
I think that's where our faith gets tested, right? Whenever things don't go our way, our faith gets tested. When we expect things to happen a certain way and we want God to just come in and give us everything we want. We want God to just fix things.
Yeah.
And I remember, precisely the moment that I started to really, I wouldn't say doubt, but question God. Like, God, like we're doing all these things. We're taking care of our bodies. We're doing all this. Yeah. We survived the virus, but now, Vivian's getting worse.
Yeah.
And that's the moment that I think that it was a true test on your strength, because, you kept on going. You kept on, getting up from the bed, even though you were weak. I was drawn from your strength. So then what I did is I had to just continue to have more certainty around you, because if I lost my certainty and if you lost your certainty, then we both fucked. We both lose the war.
Yeah.
And I knew that I only had to have a little bit more faith, a little bit more strength to be able to take it one day at a time. And I think that if you're listening to this and if you're going through a hard time, all you need to do is just take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
You can't solve your problems overnight. In your situation, it took a couple of weeks, actually 3 weeks, and multiple tests. Like, the scariest thing was when the doctors, looked at your blood test, and they were like going through the roof, and there was a lot of toxins and a lot of things that we didn't understand at the beginning. But now looking back, it was some serious stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this, health is nothing to, take lightly. We need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
But like the beautiful gift out of it is that we got our faith strengthened, and you and I got closer together. Like 80% of my energy was to help you heal, to help you come back. And for the men that listen to this, understand, like I know when we get sick, we turn into babies. But then when a woman gets sick, it's even worse because we can't do anything. We can't control it. And we feel sometimes that we don't feel that we don't have the capacity to fix things, and we lose control. And I think as a man, the worst place to be is not being able to do something about the situation, because we always love to fix things.
Okay, so that's amazing. So let me just say something on that behalf. I think for women, like what we need the most is to know that you're just there with intention, not to fix anything, but to feel the pure intention that you're just there. And I think, like, God, I don't want to cry. Like you always do this to me. I get so emotional, and it's still like so emotional. And I think like, this podcast for us is like such a therapy, because we always talk about it and we have such an amazing relationship now, but it's just, it's so amazing. So, for me, I think the most healing part and the reason where we say like our relationship was tested is because, you know, like you could be together when you were healthy, you could be together and you could be in love when things are going right. But when things are not, when you are like at your worst and there is no energy and when there is no desire to get up and you have your man by your side, not wanting to fix something because I don't think you couldn't fix it. There was nothing that you could do. I had to go through my own thing, right? Like I had to heal my own body. My body knew exactly what to do to heal itself, but it needed the time. But I think just the fact that you being there with setting the best intention and without any expectation, I think that was like the most healing, the most loving part for me. And I know a lot of the times you said to me, like, nothing matters. My business doesn't matter. Nothing else matters except you. And I know that sometimes we hear that, but we don't believe it because actions speak louder than words. And I know that you've showed me in the past, but really like this time was when we were tested and you left everything for me. And I think that's the time that you really like, then you feel like, oh my God, I'm like, I am everything. I am loved. I am worthy of this love. So then that plants a seed for we as women to know, like, I am worthy of love. And for me, like, just to go a little bit further on what the sickness was, is like there were so many fears. There was so much that my body was holding on to, so much uncertainty, so much fear, so much doubt, that just that alone planted the seed for me to say like, Vivi, you got to let go of this stuff. Like, it's not serving you. It's not serving your body. And maybe it's not something from right now. Maybe it was something from the past, or maybe it was something from your, you know, ancestors that you're holding back. And maybe you have to free the woman in your life and like all these things that I went through. And it's like, yes, like I choose to heal my body. I choose to love myself. And you being there just allowed me and gave me the permission to actually love myself. And it showed me that our relationship is deeper and it's more loving, even when I think that it cannot be anymore. So thank you for that, because it really like allowed me to know that I know you can't fix it, but I know that you'll always be there for me.
And I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to see you in pain. It wasn't easy to see you at that state. And I have a complete perspective on the couples that go through sickness.
Yes.
You know, I have a couple of clients that have lost their wives to cancer, and I go through. So my heart goes out to every man out there or woman out there that it's
that you're sick, or you have babies that are sick that you got to take care of. Like, it's just, it changes everything. So it really allowed us to grow in that space of like, I see you, I feel you, you're out there, like our prayers are with you. And if you need prayers, please reach out. We are here for you for prayer and for healing and for any meditation that we could offer, because we've gone through a lot of it.
So, you know, talking about prayers, I think that's where I really started to digging deep on my faith and praying.
Yeah.
I think I've never prayed more in my life than I prayed in the last 30 days, you know, and having these conversations and really getting deep into like, what does it mean to have faith, unshakable faith? You know, and I was sharing with some of my guys that, you know, unshakable faith doesn't mean that you gonna know that the outcome is gonna happen the way they want it to happen. Yeah. Unshakable faith means that whatever happens, you're gonna be okay with it.
Yeah.
And I remember like the days that you were out, you worse, and the tests were coming up, and the doctors were worried. It is like God telling me, okay, do you trust me? Do you trust me? Do you trust that I have you know, your best interest?
Yeah.
Do you trust that I could heal her? And I remember, you know, calling you my Amazonian queen.
Yeah.
I said, you're stronger than what you think, Vivian. You're my Amazonian queen. Like, you know, you have to command your body, command your cells to heal themselves.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And that's when, you know, the insights that I got from the prayer is that we got to do something about it. It's not enough just to pray. We have to do something about the situation. So we didn't just rely on prayers and meditation. We actually started juicing. We started seeking the doctors, and through everything, it's like now we have a new perspective of how to continue to keep healthy and how to continue to improve our health. So next time that this happens, we actually know a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think even that in itself, like from us being sick, from me being sick, it's given us a whole perspective on like how we run our household. You know, like, I mean, we were okay in the eating and the drinking and in the, you know, like with the supplements and all this stuff, the way that we think, we were all there, right? But it's like, how can we take it to the next level, and how can we live this life in this extraordinary way, not just like ordinary or not just okay? And I think as a family, like we really push through those limits, and it's something like we never thought that we could do this for a long period of time, but now it's just, it becomes a way of life. It becomes effortless because we know the worst. So I was like, we don't want to go there. We don't want to feel that again. How can we change that? And how can we like not go back? And it's that reminder of like, I never want to go back, and I never want to feel that. I'm thankful for that moment, but I don't want to go back.
And that's one thing, that how you could come back stronger from this pandemic than ever is just remembering that you survive a period of in life, a moment in history that you realize that you're stronger than what you think. Like, this virus didn't kill us. It might have kind of punched us in the face, but we got up and we are coming back stronger. Yeah. That one of the things that I really remember is telling you, what's the purpose that you have? Like, why do you want to live? You know, because I remember when I had a high fever and I was in my bed, it was like more of like having a conversation with God, and God telling me like, why do you want to live? Why do you want to be healed? Yeah. And I said, like, I want to live my purpose. I want to continue to live with purpose. I want to continue to impact more people. And that's the drive. And I believe that our bodies are just giving us feedback every single time and letting us know, like, you have to continue in the journey. You can't just, we're not here to survive. Right. You're not here to survive just in our marriage, survive in our business, survive in our health. We're here to live an extraordinary life, but in a way to do it, the only way to do it is to be conscious that every single day is a gift, and we have to give it everything we fucking have. Yes. And that is easier said than done. But when the moment that you get sick, the moment the pandemic like this happens, then it exposes your weakness, exposes what you need to work on. And one of the things that we realize that for us is so important to continue in this path of being healthy, continue in this journey of strengthening our bodies, and continue the journey of purpose. I mean, one of the reasons that we're doing this podcast is because we want to touch more people's lives. We want to impact more people and realize that so you could help yourself, that nobody's going to come save you. God is not here just to give you everything you want. God is a co-creator with us. Yeah. And we need to put in the work at the same time.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I think like this podcast it's named the way that it is. And the reason why we kind of want to change the name a little bit, because it is God, money, and purpose. Or passion. We said passion. Yeah. We're not sure yet. We're still going like both
God,
ways.
money, and passion.
God, money, and passion. Because it's not just about sex, and it's not just about God. It's not just about, business. It's everything together. Like they all come together. They're all like this trilogy that if you don't have one or the other, just none of it makes sense, because they all go together. So it's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing transformation of like, how can we really serve from a higher place in our hearts? Like, how do we connect to that? So like, if you're listening to this, yes, you could have an extraordinary life, but it's like, don't overwhelm yourself. What is the one thing that you could change? What is the one thing that you have seen with this pandemic that you actually know that you had to change a long time ago and you didn't, but this has just exposed it. So it's like, okay, this is the one thing that I need to change, and go and do it. Like, don't wait until another pandemic comes and then your body is depleted again and then you get sick again. So it's like, allow yourself to really bring awareness to like, what is the one thing that you want to change and see through? Because I think a lot of the times, like, that's where we get stuck. It's so easy to go back to like, oh, okay, now I'm better. My body's healed. I am 90% there. I'm not going to drink the supplements or the juice, or I'm not going to tell him I love him, or I'm not going to show appreciation for God and everything that he is in my life. I'm just going to go back to my ordinary life. That's when we forget, because it's so quickly to go back. And I think it's like that, like you said, it's like for us is like this daily rituals and the daily reminder and appreciation of life, and like, how are you showing up every single day?
So I think the one thing that you could do, that we're doing, and if you're listening to this, you're watching this, the one thing that you could do is really remember this moment, and don't forget there was a time in your life that you couldn't touch people, that you couldn't hold people, that you were deprived of human touch.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's at the minimum that you could do, which is remember the importance of touch. Because I remember, like, the hardest thing at the beginning for me, Vivian, because you know my love language is touch.
I know.
Like, the hardest thing when I got sick, it was like I can't hug my kids. I couldn't hug you. So I remember like me getting almost emotional, you know, watching my kids
from a distance.
Yeah. And that hurt me because, like, you know, I remember telling Alejandro, like, when we're done with this, I'm going to give you the biggest hug and the biggest kiss.
And we're going to be on top of each other.
Like, because we love to be like, we joke around that we're the Croods, right? Like the movie The Croods, that we love to be hugging with each other and top of each other. And that was the hardest thing at the beginning for me, not to be around, like not to hug people, right? So the one thing you could do is not forget. Not forget, like make a promise to yourself right now that you're not going to withhold a hug from a person that you love, that you're not going to withhold a gesture, a physical gesture, that you're not going to take for granted the touch.
Or even a smile. Like, it's so hard now because it's like we go out and then you have to wear, like, and we're in Connecticut and it's mandatory to wear a mask. And it's like, behind the mask, I'm giving somebody a smile, but they don't even see it. And like, even that breaks my heart. So yeah, you do have to remember this time because we forget so quickly. So another idea that I had was like, I usually make like photo books because I love to have stuff that I could actually see. And I've already made like this little photo book of different quotes that came up on my feed, and we took a picture. We have a couple of pictures with masks on, and just make something like that for yourself so you don't forget like this happened, because we go back so quickly. And maybe just a quick video or a quick picture or a photo book or something so you can remember and to know like, what is it that I learned from this pandemic? What is it that, you know, that I changed because of this pandemic? And I think that's the way that we, you know, we're telling our kids, it's like, what is it that this has showed you? Don't bring the energy of like something was taken away from you, or like yes, we were all dragged into this and it happened so quickly, but how do we change the perspective? How do we come back stronger? How can we actually have a better energy, not only for ourselves, but for the people that we love and the people that maybe need more energy than what we are feeling?
Yeah. And the second thing is create an opportunity for you to have the awareness of what this has exposed on you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the awareness, if you're not looking at your life, said, okay, what does this pandemic expose in my life? Was it my health? Was it my relationship? Was it my business? And other guys that I coach, it's not really the business that got exposed. It was more the relationship or realizing that I'm missing out on my kids' life. I'm missing out on my kids. Like now I could be with my kids and I could run my business from home. And I like that now. So a lot of my guys are looking at how do I continue this path and be home more often, because they're learning that
amazing.
That time passes. And when was the last time that you had, you know, before this pandemic, when was the last time that you were home having dinner with your kids? What was the last
breakfast,
time
lunch, and dinner.
That you have, like, listen, I've become a master of making turkey sandwiches. Like I've mastered the art of turkey sandwiches. I have hot turkey sandwiches, cold turkey sandwiches, turkey sandwiches with different things on it. And I love doing that. I've learned how to cook a little bit better because you couldn't cook and I had to feed the kids.
Yeah.
And I learned that I've enjoyed certain things, but also exposed a lot of things that I could improve. So if one thing that you could do right now, number one is look at, don't forget about this moment, anchor this experience. Two, find out what this experience exposed on you so you could improve.
I love that.
And the third is, what is one thing that this pandemic made you enjoy the most, or made you discover about yourself? Like I said, I discovered that I like cooking. I didn't know that I like cooking. I enjoy. I don't like to get just regular cook. I want to have all the ingredients and all these things. That's the type of cooking that I like to do. But I enjoy that. I really, for me, feeding the kids, it wasn't a hassle. I like to feed the kids. I like them to eat my food.
Yeah. I think it was so nice having you there and the help. I think it was also nice to see, like, I've talked to a couple different women and it's like mixed feelings, because a lot of the guys have actually showed up and have taken consideration of, like, washing the dishes or cooking or doing something, because it's like now you get to see like your wife, your partner, like, does a lot for you at home.
Yeah.
And now you get to see, like, because you're always home. So now you really get to see it. And I think, like, you were you were almost like forced to see that. And I think it's beautiful that men could actually have the love language and, you know, the gift of service and the gift of like appreciation and all of that maybe was never brought up so much before. And now you're kind of just forced to see that part. And I think it's beautiful that how men are showing up.
Yeah, and one thing I'll tell you that we sometimes we discount what you guys do in the house. We discount like the patience that you have to have with the kids. We discount
they make it look so easy.
It takes a lot of work to run a house. It takes a lot of work to run a household. Like sometimes I think like I would just want to go to the office and not deal with the stuff at home.
Yeah.
But I think now this experience has given us opportunity for us to actually structure it in a way that the burden is not just in one person, that we could actually enjoy our time together and like walks in the neighborhood with the kids.
Yeah.
Like walking with a dog and taking the dog out.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we took for granted before. But now, just like this morning, for example, we went to Whole Foods for our date.
we enjoy that now. Who would have thought?
And I'm discovering now that where all the money's going, because Vivian likes to shop. Like every single day, she'll be at some kind of store.
But now you see how much it's for groceries.
But see, if you're strategic about it, just like I've been doing, is that you have a list. You go there for the specific items, and you don't buy nothing except for those things. You might have a margin of error, but you don't go crazy, and then you don't go back to the grocery shopping unless you finish all the food.
So now I'm gonna take you along every week. So
that's gonna be a new date.
A new date night. Yeah, like we've really been forced into this intimacy of just being together and seeing each other for the things that we do. And I think, yes, it could go both ways of like you feel forced, like I said, but at the same time it's like how can we share the chores? How can we share the time? And I think it just comes from us asking and having like this clear communication and clear boundaries as to like, hey, I need help. Like I can't just be here the whole day with the kids and I have to work too. Like we both do. I get it. But how do we share that? How can you love me, or how can you see me a little bit more that you didn't in the past?
And the last one is the one thing that we can learn coming out of this pandemic is that we're stronger than what we think.
Yes.
Like this, I think that has to be the theme for every single person out there, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're married or you're employed, doesn't matter. Like you're stronger than what you think. And I think that my team has stepped up. Like we're having more connection with my team and my business than ever. Like right now is a time like the team is stepping up to lead. When I was sick, when you were sick, my team came together and they were able to continue to produce at the level they wanted to produce.
That's amazing.
And that's when you start looking at your team is stronger than what you think. You have to learn how to delegate. Your body is stronger than you think. You have to continue to trust it. Your relationship is stronger than what you think. You have to continue to invest in it and to make it even stronger. But at the same time, God is stronger than what you think. Like God is there every single time.
Don't ever doubt him.
If I'm telling you right now, I've been on the lowest, and he's always been like giving me that whisper, and it's just compounded this experience, because my father passed away 5 months ago. My grandfather passed away around this time. So all those things that happened in this pandemic, it was kind of like a boot camp for me of faith, to strengthen my faith, to get closer to God, to ask God and Jesus to really deliver and give us what I remember a prayer that I used to say is, I command my subconscious mind to connect with my spirit so I could do God's will today. And I claim the promise of God. I claim the promise of Jesus. I claim the promise of healing. And I'll repeat it over and over again as you were laying down in the bed.
Oh, how sweet, my love. I must have been out because I just vaguely remember your all this stuff happening. And one thing I just want to add to that also like the power of association, because our immediate family, yes, but also the people that we had around us. Like it was just so beautiful to know that it's not just strangers out there. Maybe there were strangers that were reaching out to us, but it's also like people that we know and that they love us and they were praying over us. And that just gave me so much power. And if it wasn't one person, another person sent me a message, and it was just like, yes, like I needed that reminder. So I think association is also a big thing. It's like, who are you surrounded yourself with?
And listen, at the end of the day, when you're sick, when you go through this experience, then you know who the people that are rooting for you are. Because my family came through. I mean, like big shout out, my mom, my aunts, my grandmother, my sister, my brother.
Everybody.
You know, they really support us, and they were checking on us. And like, you know, it comes a point at a time that you know you could handle it, but the moment that we don't know what's going to happen, that we need that support, even though they couldn't do anything to help you get better, the emotional support and the fact that they're there, it just goes a long way. So
yeah, it was beautiful.
Like the one thing I tell people right now is like, there's so many people hurting. Reach out.
Yes.
Reach out and have a phone call and talk to people, because at the end of the day is a text. It just goes a long way.
Yes.
So you're stronger than what you think.
Definitely.
Connection is everything, with family and with friends and the people around you.
Don't forget.
Learn something new to this pandemic. Find a hobby or something that you actually learned that you didn't know that you liked before.
Something that you appreciated about the pandemic.
See what has this pandemic exposed in your life, whether it's your health, your business, your relationship.
Yes.
And just take it one day at a time.
I love that.
One day at a time. You're stronger than what you think. You're going to make it through. And this is not the end. This is the beginning. The best is yet to come.
I love that.
So thank you for watching us. Thank you for following us. Let me see. We have any questions here at the... Yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you. All right. So that's it. Following us on YouTube, back on Instagram, Facebook. Follow us everywhere except for our bedroom. That's where we keep it private. Learn it, live it, experience it.
Love life.
Love life.